last video, we had left the trailer down in Cottonwood and drove up to an Airbnb in downtown Sedona.
Straight to stay on Arizona 179 North.
We got to our Airbnb, got all unpacked and got settled in, went out and had pizza for the night. The view from the backyard was amazing. Later that night, before we went to bed, we heard a lot of noise out front, and we found some local Javelinas running around.
Did you see it?
Javelinas are very common around the Sedona area, and as you can see, they get into trash. They resemble a pig in kind of a salt and pepper color, skin color, and they get between 40 and 60 pounds. They provided quite a bit of entertainment for that first night when we were there.
Here, Piggy. Come here, Piggy.
No.
Piggy. Javelina. Here, Javelina. Oh, isn't he cute? He says, I want that pizza and I can smell it. Oh, they're right over there.
It turned out he had several more friends just hanging a few feet away in the dark. The camera picked up their eyes. It was a little scary. The next morning we jumped on the 89A and headed up through the valley, through Flagstaff and out north, and we headed to National Park, the Sunset Crater. For those of you who've traveled the area, 89A runs between Sedona and Flagstaff, and it is absolutely a beautiful drive. My first planned stop was the Sunset Crater Volcano Visitor Center. We stopped at the Rutabakai National Monument, situated between the Painted Desert and the Arizona High Desert area. We paused for just a minute to sing happy birthday to our granddaughter.
Leah. Happy birthday to you.
It's believed that these ruins are about 900 years old, and they contain over 100 rooms. From there, we went back down to Flagstaff and we went to the Lowell Observatory. Of course, it was closed for COVID, but they had a pull-out where you could get out and take a walk, and they had a beautiful view of downtown Flagstaff.
College there.
Oh, yeah. There's the college.
Maybe old Flagstaff. Where's Route 66? That one right here. See?
One of the best ways to see Sedona is on the Sedona Trolley. The tour we selected was about an hour.
Henceforth, all bridges in America will be called Bridgeleys.
Right. There you go.
morning, folks. Welcome aboard the Sedona Trolley. For those of you just joining us, I'm Mark. I'll be your driver and guide. This is the 11 o'clock chapel tour. Be back in just about an hour. We're surrounded by this beautiful national forest, and Sedona's as big as it's going to get. All the land around it is protected. 1.8 million acres, Volcano National Forest. 3 to 4 million tourists a year. As I said earlier, only about 20,000 people live here. So a good time to be here is right now. This is a slow time. Next week with Thanksgiving, we'll have a bump, and then Christmas and New Year's, but January is our slowest month. Our busiest season is March into early April, spring break to Easter. This town's bumper to bumper for 6 weeks. So, and Schneble became the town's first postmaster in 1902. And they named the town after his wife, Sedona Schneble. The building called Cathedral Rock.
Oh, over here? Oh.
You'll have a really good view of that from the chapel, but that's one of our most often painted and photographed formation. It's a vortex site. A lot of people ask about this mansion coming up on the right. This was built by the guy that invented the tools and the software for LASIK eye surgery.
Oh my gosh.
He's a Romanian physician. He built this about 12 years ago. But this is not and never was his primary residence. This place sits empty all the time. I've never seen anybody but the caretaker in here. It's on the market for $27 million if anybody wants to make an offer.
The Chapel of the Holy Cross is a Roman Catholic chapel. The chapel opened in 1956. The chapel is one of those must-see places when you visit Sedona.
Now, if you start looking on the left about 10 o'clock, that's Cathedral Rock over there. The whole thing. That's a vortex site, and it's right on the creek.
The tour came to an end, and we managed to find a winery just down the street. As you can imagine, Sedona is loaded with little quirky gift shops. We found this one to be very interesting. There's several spots around Sedona that people gather in the evenings to watch the sunset. We picked a place up on the airport road. As you can see, a lot of other people did too, but the sunset was worth it. The next morning we got up early and headed to Montezuma's Castle National Monument. We got our National Parks passport here and got our first stamp put in. And of course, no trip is complete without going back up to Jerome. That's probably one of the scariest drives that I go on. I let my wife drive. Jerome was founded in the late 19th century on Cleopatra Hill overlooking the Verde Valley. Jerome is located at more than 5,000 feet above sea level. In its heyday, Jerome was supported by rich copper mines and was home to more than 10,000 people in the 1920s. But as of the 2010 census, the population was only 440. Our time in Sedona was wrapped up. We hooked up our travel trailer, Nilly, and headed to Winslow, Arizona. It was a couple blocks from downtown, right next to the railroad. They had a nice park with a big area where we could park the camper. We took a walk over to the downtown.
I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see.
Well, you get a day off school for your birthday then, right?
We can sit together meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Your license or a temp?
Oh, good. Your tab.
We didn't stay very long in Winslow this time around. We've been there before. We hit the road and we drove to the Petrified Forest National Park.
Take a step back to see
Petrified National Forest is named for its large deposits of petrified wood. The park covers about 346 square miles. Historic Route 66 crosses the park east to west. The park is home to coyotes, bobcats, and many smaller animals such as deer mice, snakes, lizards, and there are over 200 species of birds, of which I didn't see a single one.
meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Our stay at the Petrified Forest took a little bit more time than we thought, and it made us late getting into our next stop, Gallup, New Mexico. We got there after dark. But we're going to have to cut this video off here, and we'll pick us up next week in Gallup, New Mexico. Thanks for watching.